request by candidates to be given more time to complete their registration process. A statement by NECO's head, Information and Public Relations Division, Aziz Sani, said the examination, which was scheduled to hold from Monday, February 1st, 2021 to Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021, will now start on Monday, February 8th, 2021 and run till Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. The council said candidates who missed some papers during the 2020 SSCE due to the NSAS protest in some states should also take note of the new dates and report for the examination accordingly at their various examination centers to be designated soon. The kidnapped public relations officer of the Edo Command of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Bridget Esene, has been released by her abductors on Tuesday. Esene was released at about 4 p.m. Tuesday after spending over 46 hours in the kidnappers' den. The spokesman of the police command, Chidi Mwabuzo, confirmed her release. Recall that Esene was abducted at the Peniro area of Benin on Sunday on her way to church. Still in Edo State, a mobile court sitting in Benin City headed by Chief Magistrate Bright Oniha on Tuesday convicted 11 persons for disobeying the directive of the Edo State government on compulsory use of face masks and the restriction of movement. The convicted persons that were arrested at various locations in the state capital, Benin City, pleaded guilty to the offense and asked for leniency from the Chief Magistrate. The court ordered the convicted persons to carry out 3 hours of community service within the premises of the Edo State High Court, Benin City. 2 other persons, Ms. Stephanie Francis and Mr. Uti Christopher, who pleaded not guilty, were discharged and acquitted by the Chief Magistrate on the ground of no witness to the alleged offense committed. The 11 persons convicted by the court include Comfort Oko, Hizobus Maris, Doris Idada, Habibat Osayande, Emmanuel James, Friday Peter, Joseph Mwibo, and Ola Michael. They were all convicted for disobeying the directive of the Edo State government by refusing to wear face mask, thereby committing an offense contrary to Section 8, Sub 6C of the Edo State Dangerous Infectious Diseases Emergency Prevention Regulation 2020. Coming up in a moment on our Extra Voices, amidst fear of coronavirus and the plea that people should shun large gatherings, some Edo residents have continued to gather at the National Identity Management Commission office in Benin to get their national identity number. More to come after this break.
In the ever-revolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they be anything.
But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market
there's no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any fashion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the entires now.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost 1 bag of rice. Documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With Extra Voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
Some residents of Benin City have been subjected to hard times in an effort to secure their national identity number. Some have witnessed the first daylight at National Identity Management Commission's office. Some spent hours during the day under the scorching sun without result, while others have to pay their way through. Today's edition of Extra Voices highlights sacrifices by the residents in their struggle to secure a national identity number.
Since the federal government announced that all SIM cards registered in Nigeria must be linked to the national identity numbers of the owners or risks being blocked, the offices of the National Identity Management Commission across the country have become a mecca of some sort. The announcement was a wake-up call to millions of Nigerians who had never registered in the first place. Hundreds of people who thronged the various offices of the Commission and registration centers in Benin daily to register, reprint, or verify their numbers before sharing with their network providers.
She's around 4 now, meet the day here.
But by the time we entered, it was a tug of war. Since I stayed here, I have not seen a number of people that are captured. I don't know what is wrong with the workers or the machine. I don't know what is the problem. Is it the machine or the number of workers? If they don't have a number of workers, they should employ people. Since 6 elderly men have been seated. I have never seen 2 or 3 people they have captured.
We are students. We want to write down. They will ask us for our NI. At least they should assist students now. We have been here since last week. Last 2 weeks, my dad came here. My mom has done now. At least they should assist students.
When Extra Voices visited NIMC Benin's office at PZ Road, Saple Road, it was a chaotic scene with an unprecedented crowd.
Nothing. We just say here. Now so we see them so that government go know what they will do with concerning us, because we not be animals. When we go just do something like that, so they beat us. No food, nothing.
Some have alleged that NIMC officials are taking kickbacks from citizens to facilitate their registration.
When I go immigration, they collect money to the door. What they can say for free. Some 6,000, some 5,000, 3,000. To the door.
But the allegation was debunked by the unit chairman of the Association of Senior Civil Servants NIMC office, Comrade Sunday Iduegbo.
If that person can prove it, call me. I will follow you to that very center, and then we'll go and meet that person and find out from the person, why did you collect this money from this person? Because you are not supposed to collect any money from anybody for you to render your service. The service is free.
Happening at the time when the concern about the second wave is high. What happens to social distance rule and other COVID-19 protocols?
They say coronavirus day. For election, people gather and not say coronavirus day. Now people stay here now. As it say COVID-19 day, so as we gather for here, so people never carry virus now. For this gathering we gather. Number 2, we call here this morning that they flock somebody I get so for number where they won't give her. They carry some enter inside. Say may they use partiality to give them the paper. No, they go buy fuel.
The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, has approved the extension of the deadline on the ongoing need SIM integration by a period of 3 weeks, 30th December 2020 to 19th January 2021 for subscribers with the National Identification Number NIN, and 6 weeks beginning from 30th December 2020 to 19th February 2021 for subscribers without the NIN. Similarly, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB has made NIN a registration criteria, but with over 50 million SIM cards yet to be registered in Nigeria, it remains the third dream to register and link this number of those yet to be registered within the deadline given by the federal government. For KUFM's Extra Voices, Levedun Asagwaram.
Coming up in the moment on our business news. Central Bank of Nigeria opposes lockdown, retains interest rates at 11.5%. Do stay with us, please.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 600 billion, and the last kobo. Oh yes, we follow the money. It's all about the business and the business of business. The gains and the losses. The bulls and bears. The rise and falls. The risk and the satisfaction of seeing the last kobo rise to millions. On KUFM's Business News, the simple and complex jargons of business just make sense. Get the trending news on the morning market, forecast, investment opportunities, policy changes, and other breakout information on the ever-busy world of business. KU Business News, Monday to Friday on our news dawn, 6:30 to 7 a.m.
Welcome back. It's still on the news done on 92.7 KUFM Benin City. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria on Tuesday urged the federal government not to consider another round of lockdown. The governor of CBN, Godwin Emefiele, made this known in Abuja at the end of the first MPC meeting in 2021. Emefiele said the bank will work with the fiscal authorities to revamp the economy by collaborating on policy implementation. He also disclosed that the CBN has secured approval from President Muhammadu Buhari to restructure the Nigeria Commodity Exchange. The CBN governor said the bank can no longer sit back and watch unscrupulous commodity merchants hoard commodities and force the prices of commodities to be high. According to Emefiele, the CBN owns 60% of the Nigeria Commodity Exchange and it will take charge of running the exchange to international standard. At the end of the meeting, Godwin Emefiele announced that the committee unanimously agreed to retain the current monetary policy stance by leaving monetary policy rate at 11.5% and retain the cash reserves ratio at 27.5%. Also retained are the liquidity ratio, which was left at 30%, and the asymmetric corridor, which was left at plus 100 and minus 700 basis points around the MPR. And that's it on business. And in sports, Governor Obaseki says Edo is ready to host National Sports Festival but lacks funds. Stay with us, please. The Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, has said the state is ready to host the National Sports Festival but expressed fear of lack of funds to host 11,500 athletes and its officials at the 20th edition of the sports meet. Obaseki disclosed this when he received members of the main organizing committee from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and the local organizing committee who paid him a courtesy visit in Benin City. The governor said COVID-19 pandemic has taken a toll on the finances of various states and countries across the globe, and Edo State is not left out. He noted that the impact of the virus might have a negative effect on hosting the game in the state. Earlier, the leader of the delegation from FMYSD, Nebo Lisa Anako, expressed delight with the facilities inspected by the committee for the games slated to commence from 14th to 28th February 2021. And that's it on sports. And with this sports story, we come to the end of our package. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. President Buhari has appointed new service chiefs. The abducted Edo NIS spokesperson has regained freedom. And today's Extra Voices took a look at what some residents passed through to secure their national identity number. KUFM News Dawn was produced by Nlebedum Asagwaram. I am Charles